Hey folks, so just as promised here, I wanted to give kind of a shorter in-depth review of the 2011 Chrysler 300C SRT8. So you can see here we have ourselves a pretty properly detailed SRT8 in the 300C trim. I just picked this up about a week ago and drove it yesterday as a Sunday driver, and we got her going good. So anyway, I just want to give my first impressions and interior review here. So first, I want to start with the engine. So powering the 2007 Chrysler 300C SRT8 is the 6.1 liter Hemi V8, which in its stock form, if I can open this up, in its stock form produces 425 horsepower and 420 foot-pound torque. You can see I've got a cold air intake on this one, which needs to be replaced, along with a slight tune on it, so it's pushing about 450 and 450, so respectively. But the engine bay here is very clean. I detailed that up. And these Hemis are known to be very reliable, especially the 6.1. From all the research that I've done, really the only issues with this engine is sometimes the Hemi tick, where the needle roller or the needle bearings essentially eat away at the cam shaft, I believe, and causes that. But that really shouldn't be an issue as long as you take care of your engine fairly, regularly. So what we have here connected to the engine is the Mercedes-Benz, actually 5-speed automatic transmission with manual mode option, basically a slap shift. And that transmission produces, I believe, about 19 miles per gallon on the highway and 14 in the city, which is just about what I'm getting, actually. I'm getting about 19 right now. So if we close up the hood here, it is actually very nice. And then we're going to take a look at the trunk. So to pop the trunk, we've got the trunk button right there. Trunk release. And pull it open. You can see that the trunk is very, very large here. The camera doesn't do it justice, but you can fit you could probably fit 4 people in there if you really wanted to, bundled up. It is just absolutely ginormous. And you can even see here we've got a kicker sound system, which came standard on the SRT8 models here. And that takes up a little bit of room on the left side, but you can still fit plenty of golf clubs in here, no problem. So we're just going to close that up. It does close a little bit hard, which I'm surprised at. I'm not sure if the hydraulic struts have given out or if if that's just how they were designed. So moving over to the back seat here, this is my position where I sit. Well, actually, no, it's not. That's actually all the way back, and you can still see you've got plenty of room here to sit in the back, basically, with room to spare. One thing about these SRT seats, you get the SRT bolstering not only in the front, but in the back. And they hold you in place very, very well. So the middle seat really doesn't have much bolstering, but realistically, you shouldn't be putting 5 people in this car anyway. But it does give you the option. Front seats are, of course, heavily bolstered as well. They have the suede inserts in the middle, and they hold you in place very, very well. Pretty impressed with it. If we put the key in and turn it on, you can see that you've got easy access of seats here. And by easy access, I mean when you pull the key out, the seats go back, the steering wheel goes up. And when you push the key in, it takes you to your memory seating. So it's actually a very, very nice place to spend time. nowadays, this car is 16 years old, so you're probably not buying it for a daily driver. You're probably buying it for, that weekend cruiser, Sunday cruiser. So actually, I just want to go over a little bit more of the seats here. So looking on the side here, you've got this little button here that controls your foot pedals, up and down, back and forth. You've got your backrest there, and you've got your regular seat, up, down, back, forth, and then this just goes back and forth. And then you've got a manual powered lumbar support on the side, and that comes standard on both driver and passenger seat. So we're going to actually close this up here. This being an 07 has Chrysler's Chrysler Group's kind of hard plastics. It's a little soft. It's vinyl, basically. It is a little soft, but it's definitely hard. You get some hard plastics. Basically, hard plastics all over the place, really. The seat is nice, though. The steering wheel is nice. The instrument cluster is nice. And even this non-touchscreen infotainment system is actually very nice. And to tell you the truth, I kind of like having all the analog controls for your climate control and all the buttons alongside of the navigation system here, because I don't necessarily like touching the screen and getting fingerprints all over the place. So I don't mind that. For a 2007 car, this was probably pretty good back in the day of companies not putting navigation systems in their vehicles. Like I said, it does come with a kicker sound system here. I believe I want to say it's 7 speakers, but I could be wrong. You've got 3 up here. You've got 2 here, so that's 5. You got 1 in the back, and I believe it's actually a 9-piece system. I could be wrong on that as well. I'm not totally sure. Again here, the door panels, you got some hard plastic. You can see it's really no different than my Ram. This is more of a softer plastic here, and then these appliques, these chrome appliques here as well, covering the door. Of course, you can control your seat belt so it doesn't dig into you along the side. And Chrysler does offer a standard headliner. Nothing special there. A little place for your sunglasses, which actually seems to be holding up fairly well. Along with the mirror auto dimming, you get what used to be Uconnect. Of course, not Uconnect now. A voice system as well. Auto dimming mirror, auto dimming driver mirror. And, some unique things about the car. When you turn, the headlights turn with your steering wheel, which is pretty unique. Also, this has an adaptive headlight system and adaptive rain wipers as well. So for 2007, this thing is loaded with features that are comparable to today's cars. The only thing you're not getting is cooled seats, but I'm not sure if they had that option in many cars actually in 2007. You can see the gauge display is getting a little dated there, but the analogness of it still looks very good. You can run through all of your kind of performance pages here, your navigation, your system, everything like that. And it gives you a nice little readout of everything in a digital display that isn't in the 21st, or I should say the 2020s yet, but that is okay for 2007. Not bad. You've got your volume steering, not volume controls. You get your volume controls right there. You have your seek and find buttons right here for the radio, and you also get a Sirius satellite radio subscription as well if you want to purchase that, which for 2007 I like that a lot, because as you can see, there's no real option here to plug in your vehicle to an aux cord unless you have some sort of Bluetooth connector, or you can maybe plug your phone in there to that cell phone charger if you want to charge it. But that's kind of nice. So the phone basically goes in this cavernous glove box here. And one thing this car didn't come with was the available rear seat entertainment package, which essentially was a DVD for the back, DVD player for the back seat. That's okay. You get some cup holders here, and you also get a inline here shifter. Mine is custom. I, of course, have the stock one in the glove box, but I like this one here. It's a Mopar SRT shifter, which is kind of cool, shifter knob. And that is about what the interior gets you. There's no button here. That was the SRT button in older model or in newer models, but of course not now. And you get a nice little area here for your glove box and stuff that you want to put in it. It is not slow opening or slow closing. It's just it falls, so you got to make sure you hold on to it here. A little bit of storage along the seats, memory seating positions here, which are easy to set. A little bit of storage, like I said, along the seats, and just this little insert of carpet, basically, which is slightly unique, I guess. And then, of course, your areas for your speakers, and then your carpeted floor mats as well. This is fairly unique here. So you've got, you know, your AM, FM, your mode, which is CD or satellite, your navigation, which everything is basically right there. And you can kind of see where you are, although we are actually located over there, so my navigation is off a little bit. Your time, you can go back to your time if you're in the mode option, and more info along the sides here. Your zoom for your navigation, your tune, your audio, your on off, and your load for your CD player. It's actually pretty simplistic. There's no real need to go through it. If you have a Chrysler vehicle with this in there, you understand that it is fairly easy to use. And that's basically it for the interior. You get a ginormous pane sunroof, although it's not panoramic, but they didn't have that. And you can kind of just sit back in luxury here. But we're going to start it up and listen to it run. It isn't quite a cold start, so you're not going to get that cold start sound, but it does sound excellent as an SRT model. A nice low grimacing idle sound, and then when you step on it, it really accentuates that sound and makes it sound like a proper V8 with the SRT package. The engine sounds good. Very good. And the exterior, actually here, so these high intensity discharge lights here turn when you turn. They offered that on the Chrysler models here, and they are adaptive as well through this little area right there in front of the rear view mirror. Auto fold mirrors actually aren't on this vehicle, which I thought was slightly surprising, and no power trunk either, but overall sounds very good. We're going to shut it off. You can see the instrument cluster has a very cool blue hue to it, and along with all of the light switches as well, and that works as it should. There we go. And you can see the seat goes back, the steering wheel tilts up to allow that easy access out of the heavily bolstered seats here, and it's an easy out. So these Chryslers sold fairly well when they came out. Of course, they continued them into the second generation, and then were discontinued after 2014. But a lot of people like these cars because they sat higher than a sports car, although they were still pretty athletic with 255s on the rear and 245s on the front. And they drove and rode really, really well, considering they were 20-inch rims. And people like that a lot. But this is definitely a modern-day classic vehicle, and if you have one of these in excellent condition, you should really try to keep them as nice as possible and keep that paint shining. Overall, I'm very happy with this. You know, I would nag on the exterior more, but to tell you the truth about the exterior, you're not buying this car anymore for, or the interior, I guess. You're not buying it for the interior quality. You're buying it because of the fact that it's a first generation SRT8 model, and you're buying it for the experience, just an experience that you can't have anymore. So there's no need to really rip on the interior, especially when these seats are just so nice, heavily bolstered, and well made. And that's basically it. That's basically the 300C SRT8 in a nutshell. Just a beautiful looking car, and I'm very, very happy with mine so far. It's given me an excitement when I turn the key that no other vehicle has in my life, and I'm 25, I've owned 9 cars. So this is definitely the best looking one, and the best overall experience that you're going to find in a vehicle for $25,000 or under.